So it's my birthday and everything, but I woke up to some real bad news. Great guy, Bobby, is a real big part of my life and everything, and he was brought to be with the Lord last night. But it kind of changed plans for me and changed a ton of the day and everything. And so I went and got a couple tattoos for him, and I wanted to talk on that real quick and give an explanation behind the meaning of them and the stories that come along with it. So one thing I did, I got under the eagle, I got the little koi fish, the black and white koi fish, and there's kind of a common symbolism of the dark and light fish and everything. But I was flipping through that little book at the place I went to. I'd actually got tattooed last night on my arm, the other arm. But spur of the moment went and did another morning thing, walk in today. So I did the little koi fish because, for one, dude loved to fish. Everybody know that. I had got a ton of fishing memories and stories with him. And but we always had these real deep talks, and that's just something we did as part of our relationship. We had, we had these real deep talks and everything, and the dude was like so real. He's like one of the realest people you'll ever meet, and he just talked on the good and the bad and everything, and was straightforward and real about everything he was talking about. And so that was one of, actually, before I went down there, that was a design that like popped in my mind. And that is my first page of one of the first books I did. And it's a little, it's a tiny filler piece, but anyhow, I did that. So also this never let up on my chest, I've had for years and years. And that's a quote from Bobby. And what it was is, he used to tell us about, if you're watching boxing or you're watching fights or something, somebody's getting the lead, they whoop another fella, and then they get cocky, and they get comfortable, and they get, messed up. They fall back, they let up on them, and the other person, the opposition, whatever, is in defense mode. So they gonna pop up off the ground with an uppercut, knock that son gun out. So he always told us, when you in the lead, you never let up. Now, we're gonna be real, he was probably talking about actually whooping somebody's ass, but I took it metaphorically. When I was younger, he's saying that, and I saw it as in life, when you get in the head in life, you don't let up. You don't feel like I done made it, I'm comfortable, I'm good. You keep your energy, your constructive energy, because if you let up, you fall on your ass. So he come and see me about a month ago, and I hadn't seen him for a while. We've been staying in touch, phones and stuff like that. I'll be busy working and stuff and everything. I don't see people that much no more, but he come and see me about a month ago, and he ended up staying for several hours, and he brought a friend with him, and it annoyed the hell out of me. But guess what? We ended up sitting down, and me and Bobby talking to this dude about God and how to protect his soul. As the kind of guy Bobby was, it was whoever he's around and whatever atmosphere he's around, he was gonna spit some truth. But I said I ought to get the quotations around the never let up and put your name under it. And he laughed. He said, don't do that. I said, I got you, man. So I think something else up. So there was a story he told me when I first met him, and I want to say he was moving or changing spots or something, but he was getting stuff out of boxes, and he pulled out a skull ashtray, and he said, I made this in school so many years ago. He said, now remember, he said, I like skulls, and so I was gonna make a skull ashtray. He says, and he said he worked real hard on it, and it looked good. It was an artistic type thing. He worked real hard on it, he says, and he said he was so proud of it. He said this girl walked by, was in his class, and looked at the skull ashtray and said, what a sick mind. And he said, you could tell by the look on his face that it hurt him in the moment, that in the memory it was something that stood out to him because he was speaking on it so many years later that hurt him. And he said, I looked at her and what she made a smiley face pencil holder. He said it hold like 4 or 5 pencils in it, and a smiley face. And then so he smiled, and he flicked the cigarette ash in that ashtray. He said, guess what? 35 years later, I'm still using my skull ashtray. Wonder if she still got her smiley face pencil holder. And he laughed. And is when I first met him, and I looked at him kind of funny, you know, and he says something amongst the lines of, you know, you got to be who's looking out for you, or who's gonna leave something for you, or something like that. I can't quote that, but, and I was like, dang, it kind of hit me, and I started thinking, you know, my lesson, I guess, looking back now as an adult, what I learned from it was, that people's outside perspective of you and what you're doing and stuff is going to be different than what you're benefiting or what you're going to deal with, good or bad, from what you're doing. You know, nobody going to know what you're going through but you and God. So, anyhow, since he said I couldn't do the quotes in the name, I got the little smoking skull coming up down here with the smoke going up to that, because that's the quote from him. And then that's the symbolize the skull ashtray he was talking about, that I got that story from. And that's just one of many, many, many stories that I got on my mind today. But it was one of the ones that stood out to me for whatever reason. But you know, there's so many stories about the dude that just is flooding my mind. That, you know, there's a term that says legends never die, and I know Bobby's with the Lord. I know that he's in a better place, but you know, legends never die, and there's a lot of stories and there's a lot of wisdom that the dude leave behind. That is on my mind, and I just want to talk about some of them stuff. And if you got stories, memories with him or anybody else for that matter, it's important to keep that energy around. People's soul go be with the Lord, and there ain't nothing of them left here but the energy that they leave behind from their actions when their energy was flowing through the world. And it's really, really important to keep that energy around. Spend time with people so you can take in their energy and know it, because you never know the last time you're going to, you know. When I seen him, I said it was about a month ago, there's a lot coming to my mind about that day and what we talked about and things. And I really did appreciate seeing him, because I hadn't seen him in so long. But you just never know. Now I really, really appreciate it. But yeah. So rest in peace, Bobby. I know, like I said, I know he's in a better place. Love you, man, for real.